Hello everybody, my name's Shalise. Welcome now everybody to my top 12 Assassin's Creed games. This is going to be 12 Assassin's Creed games. We're just including the main consoles. We're not including Liberation, Freedom Cry, the DLCs. We're not including the portables like Bloodline. We're not even including Assassin's Creed Chronicles, the trilogy pack. You know, where your Shao Jun, the China, the Russia one, and the India one. We're not doing that. We're doing the main consoles only. So yeah, everybody, let's start off with number 12 for the top 12 Assassin's Creed game, the worst of the bunch. And the worst of the bunch is none other than Assassin's Creed Revelations. Now, hear me out. Now, before you even bite my head off, let me just say this about Assassin's Creed Revelations. This is the end of the Ezio trilogy. This is the end of Ezio Auditore's journey. But the problem is, though, with this main game, it's very repetitive. This entire story is about Ezio going to Constantinople to find Altair's library and to basically unlock it. But the problem is, though, he has to go to Constantinople to find the keys to unlock Altair's library. And the thing is, though, for every single main sequence, he does the same thing. He goes to a bookshop, Sophia's bookshop. Right there, he meets the love of his life, or the second love of his life, and he's going to marry her. And every single time he goes to her, she deciphers the book. He finds the next location of the keys, and it's just the same old back and forth repetitive bullshit. I do enjoy this game, but this game, the map itself, Constantinople, was beautiful, but it wasn't enough for me. And the thing is, though, they were promoting this game. You play two major assassins, Altair and Ezio Auditore. And Altair is not really a character in this game. Basically, he gets the Aya. He gets the Aya effect. I mean, Aya was a character in Assassin's Creed Origins that guy basically got like maybe 10 minutes of screen time. Altair is the same way. Most of Altair's scenes are just basically cutscenes and a little bit of stuff where you're old man and you're walking back to your assassin hideout. That's it. You're not really playing two versions of the characters for two different lifetimes. You're basically getting like a 5-minute scene that basically. And here's the thing: I've read Altair's story in the Assassin's Creed book, his own book, and there was a missed opportunity with Revelations, in my opinion. There was a great missed opportunity for Altair's story. I mean, there's so much stuff that man goes through throughout his entire story of losing his son to the ultimate betrayal of the Brotherhood. There's so much stuff that is missing from Assassin's Creed Revelations in Altair's story. Another thing, the bomb making, yes, I enjoyed it. It was awesome, but the thing is, though, again, when you're playing Ezio Auditore for his final freaking journey, there's just a lot of repetitive stuff. Again, you're just going to Sophia's bookshop so she could decipher a book, so she could find out where the next key is to Altair's library so you can unlock it. That's all there is. The villains are basically non-existent in this game. Ezio's ultimate journey is basically that he's just a mouthpiece and he's just a stepping stone, and this story will continue without him, and the future will continue without it. And even though he's the heart and soul of the game, he's letting us know basically that it's time to move on, and our journey doesn't end with him. It moves on to a future person, and he does not need all the secrets of the world. He does not know have all the answers. He understands his place in the world, and for the most part, Ezio Auditore was the greatest. No, he not for the most part. He is the greatest assassin character of the Assassin's Creed universe. Problem is, though, his main story, his last story, not overall that great. So to me, Assassin's Creed Revelations, it was a very repetitive game that didn't need to be repetitive. It could have shown a lot more stuff for Altair's backstory. And again, it's just a very disappointing end to Ezio's journey and to Altair's journey. Okay, maybe not a disappointing ending. It's just the matter is, it just could have been so much better. And that's sad to say is where I'm going to leave off with Assassin's Creed Revelations at number 12. And number 11 is other than Assassin's Creed 1. This is the start of the Assassin's Creed franchise. This started off the Assassin and Templar War. And here's the thing, I appreciate this game. I will always appreciate this game for what it brought. It was the start of the franchise. But like all beginnings, it's not overall the greatest start. Assassin's Creed 1 did a lot of things good. It built up the storyline of Assassins and Templars again. Altair was a good, interesting protagonist, a great future assassin, and really a man who was filled with pride, and he was obnoxious, who believed he was better than everybody else, and basically he had to be taken down a peg, and really basically he screws up the assassin order. Assassins die because of him, because he did not follow the code. So while he's forgiven, he has to be rebuilt. He went from a master to a rookie, and now we have to relive the assassin order again and to fall into the rules of what makes an assassin an assassin. That's what Assassin's Creed the game is great about, the story. But the problem is, though, for the story, it's very, very repetitive. And I give this a pass over Revelations because it was the first game, so you can't really fault the first game for being a little bit repetitive, but Revelations, you could. So Assassin's Creed 1, well, it was a problem. You had three major cities, Damascus, Jerusalem, and Acre. And the problem is, though, each city had three districts, rich, poor, and, the middle class. And each one is the same thing. You have 9 targets in each of these cities. Well, you have 3 targets in each city, 9 targets total. You have to go basically tell your mentor about your mentor's test, go to one of these cities, meet the guy in the bureau, investigate, go back to the bureau guy, get permission to kill the dude, go kill the dude, report back to your bureau guy, then go back to your mentor. And it's the same old thing for 9 sequences. Do we show different sides of Altair? Yes, each time he grows. But the problem is, though, there's no side content. There's no nothing really with this game. It was the first of the Assassin's Creed franchise, and it was very story based. And the story base was very repetitive. And ultimately, this is a game you could not really want to go through right away. You have to take your time with it. I would say play 2 sequences at once, like do 2 targets at once, and then you can finish this in like in 2 3 days in order to really not push it and to really not feel like the lag about it. But to me, I enjoy Assassin's Creed 1. I always will appreciate Assassin's Creed 1. But to me, I can never really go back to this game because it's so downright repetitive, and this is not a game that I'm going to watch or play a billion times over. I could watch like the movie a bit, like if you go put all the cutscenes together, but overall, if you watch the movie, it's just the same old stuff. You go to the hideout again, go tell your mentor about what's happening over here. Okay, then meet the bureau guy, investigate, report back to the bureau guy, get the permission to kill, get the killing done, go back to the bureau guy, go back to the mentor, same old repetitive stuff. And it's only until the end of the game that things really start to take shape and to be different. But to me, Assassin's Creed 1, very good start to Assassin's Creed franchise, but it's a very repetitive game. So Assassin's Creed 1, number 11. Now, number 10 is none other than Assassin's Creed 3. Here's the thing, everybody. I played recently Assassin's Creed 3 again, the remastered, and the nostalgia glasses are off. Here's the thing I had gotta say about Assassin's Creed 3. I see Assassin's Creed 3 did a lot of great things for the Assassin's Creed franchise. They changed the weather system. Now you can have snow. The assassin can actually climb trees. The tomahawk. They introduced trip mines. The hunting. The craftsmanship. Uh, let's not forget the freaking naval missions as well. Assassin's Creed 3 did a lot of great stuff for the mechanics, and I really appreciate Assassin's Creed 3 for this. The problem is, though, for Assassin's Creed 3, this is the worst paced Assassin's Creed game I have ever played. I enjoy Hatem at the beginning. When you're playing at Hatem at the beginning as a character, he's a Templar. And so when we're introduced to his character and when we find out he's a Templar, we just want to stay as Hatem the Templar. He's kind of like not an evil James Bond, but he has that sort of sarcastic attitude that he doesn't really give a shit. But even though he's supposedly the villain and he works for, and again, since he's a Templar, the main antagonist for the entire Assassin's Creed franchise, is a very interesting thing. It's very interesting to see their perspective and playing Hatem. We're liking this character. He's such a cool character. But it's promoted that Connor's a character. So I believe that we never had Hatem as an assassin. I mean, as the one of the main characters for the Assassin's Creed 3, it would have been better if we just had Connor for the rest of the game, because since we're playing as Hatem, it takes away from Connor and his story a bit. And Connor to me is better as a side character, if anything. He's those characters that you always see in TV shows are those strong silent types. And if they get their own film, or like in any case, it's not as great as it once was. They are essentially a part of the greater story. It's just the problem is, though, on their own, they're just eh. That's really what Connor is. I understand his plight. I understand the reason why he wants to go against the freaking the Templars. He wants to go against the people who murdered his mother, who was trying to exploit his village. I enjoy Connor's story, but the problem is, though, for Connor's story, there's certain things that just don't make sense. He's a lucky assassin. He survives a lot of shit that he's not really supposed to. And I get there is he's a video game, and you got the hero, you got it's plot armor. This is straight up plot armor, and not all the time it works for Assassin's Creed game. I understand it's a video game, but if Assassin's Creed is based off this realistic thing, plot armor is not going to work 24/7. And I get it, but still, Assassin's Creed 3, I enjoy the game. I love the different places. I love the frontier, and the best part about Assassin's Creed 3 is not even the main story. It's the side story about Connor building up a homestead, meeting all these different groups of people and building a family around them. That was to me the best part about Assassin's Creed 3. Is this the worst game? No. Is it a good game? I would say it's a good game. I and before I even get to the ranking of the other Assassin's Creed games, I gotta say this: Assassin's Creed 3, it to me, it is a very, again, it's the worst piece of Assassin's Creed game, but it is still a lot of fun. I still had fun with Assassin's Creed 3. I don't think it's the greatest story. I used to love this game a lot. This used to be one of my favorite Assassin's Creed games. Then again, I was just blinded by nostalgia. And when I really look into it now that I'm older, Assassin's Creed 3 is not as special as it once was anymore to me. But Assassin's Creed 3, I will always respect, I will always appreciate, but to me, not the greatest Assassin's Creed game. So let me just thank everyone for that one. And I'm going to give that Assassin's Creed 3 a B. It's a solid B game. It's not a terrible game. It's a good game. And if we're also doing the rankings of the other Assassin's Creed games, Assassin's Creed 1, I would give like a B minus. Assassin's Creed Revelations a B minus. I do not hate any of these Assassin's Creed games. I can hate certain elements about what they brought to the franchise, but I do not hate a single Assassin's Creed game. So Assassin's Creed 3 is none other than number 10. Number 9, I know everybody who's going to hate me for this, is Assassin's Creed Origins. This is the most overrated Assassin's Creed game. I've ranted about this game for the longest. Here's the thing about this. This game is a lot of fun. This game has the best combat system of any of the Assassin's Creed games. The map of Egypt is beautiful. I cannot fault the map. The problem is, though, as an origin story, it is not. I have read different source material for Assassin's Creed Origins for Bayek's story, and this game could have been a trilogy. Bayek's story could have been a trilogy. The book version of basically, and this is not from the video game, but the book versions for spoilers is Bayek has his father, how his father trains him to become a Magi, how they first meet to order the ancients, how Aya and Bayek fall in love and eventually have a kid and their different personalities. I love Assassin's Creed Origins. I love a great many things about Assassin's Creed Origins, but the problem is still for this game, if Connor was a lucky character for plot armor, Bayek certainly is. The storyline makes no sense from multiple perspectives. The whole Father of Understanding, what Origins did was piss poor. The Order of the Ancients was not a good villains at all. I mean, every single one of them was not organized. Each one had a different control of their own district of Egypt, but they basically did their own thing. They had no connection to each other whatsoever. Bayek was hunting down each one of them for killing his son, and the fact is that Bayek is still alive makes literally no sense in the story because, again, it's plot armor. And again, when he is knocked out on the floor with his son unconscious, nobody thinks to stab him. And that's it. To me, Bayek was not the main character. Bayek should not have been the main character story. The main character story should have been Aya. And this game shoehorned in at the last minute Aya as Amunet. I am tired of seeing this shit. People praising Aya. Here's the thing: the people who made this game didn't know what they wanted. They didn't complete the Juno storyline. They didn't finish the storyline, and the Juno storyline still continues throughout the comic books of Assassin's Creed. I don't know why it happened after Syndicate, why they didn't complete the Juno storyline when she was still existed. This was a reboot of the franchise. Certain things you could reboot. The combat system, yes. Different elements of the game, yes. Not the entire story. They should continue with the story of Juno's storyline. Instead, they introduced Layla and all that. Granted, could Layla's story been integrated into the Assassin's Creed universe? Yes, but I don't think it was now the right time. I think Bayek's story, Origins, could have been a trilogy. I believe they missed the ball on this. Don't get me even started about the stupid Hidden Blade and what they messed up about the lore about the Hidden Blade. I love Assassin's Creed, and to me, lore is everything. Story is everything. Side content such as the combat, yes, it matters. Like, all the little stuff matters, but the main thing is to get the story right. Assassin's Creed Origins story for the Origins did not get the story right. If you want a more detailed analysis about why I believe Origins screwed up, there will be a link down below in the bottom for my Assassin's Creed Origins rant to get into the nitty gritty of it. But for now, number 9 is Assassin's Creed Origins. For its story, that's the reason why it's got downhill. For number 9 is Assassin's Creed Origins. Yes, number 8 is Assassin's Creed Unity. And I know everybody, I put Unity at the bottom of my list for so many years. The thing is though is this, I gotta be honest with you. When I first played this game, I had none but bugs and glitches. The first time, because I didn't have internet at that time. Second time I did replay this one, I pushed myself to do it, and I was not really in the mood. So I was still mad about Assassin's Creed Unity for a lot of stuff. But the problem is, though, for Assassin's Creed Unity for all the problems Assassin's Creed Unity has, and with now everything's patched up, and now that I gave the story a third chance and to really see it, There's certain things I'm still pissed about. I'm still pissed off for the fact that for the new system, that the fact is we couldn't play a Templar and Assassin at the same time. At least the first female character you could have played, or the first Templar, Arnold the Assassin. You could see two different viewpoints. I hate the ending that Elise dies at the end. I hate the fact that she dies at the end. I hate that Arnold went back to the Assassins at the end of the video game. It makes no sense. Honestly, I would prefer of Assassin's Creed Unity if they both would have left their respective orders and said to hell with this war and we're going to choose love over each other. That would have been different. That would have been unique. Here's the thing with Arnold. I enjoy Arnold as a character now. Do I still think about the accent? Yes, it's a problem. But the problem is what I have for this game is just overall the ending of the story. I had a lot more fun with playing the multiplayer with my friends. I explored more of France. I see the very how it's more different than most of Assassin's Creed maps, and each district has its own unique take. And I really focused more on the villains this one. The villains were a lot more organized than I initially thought about them taking basically putting down the freaking king of France and getting him executed. I enjoy a great many things about Unity now. Do I believe it's the greatest Assassin's Creed game? No. Do I still believe there are problems that still need to be addressed? Yes. Do I believe all the side content is great? No. I don't think the freaking the murder mysteries was introduced in this one. It just wasn't utilized well, and I don't think it fitted well with this entire since who's gonna solve mysteries during the time of freaking France when there's a French Revolution going around. I believe this game right now, to me, it's a very good game right now. I used to hate. I'm still very pissed off at the fact that we couldn't play them together. Arnold and Elise. Still don't like the fact that Elise dies at the end. Still don't like the fact that Arnold goes back to the Assassins, even though he was the only one doing anything for the Assassin Order during France's time. And also, what I liked about this game is the fact that they showed that the Bellic and Assassins. Sometimes the Assassins are dicks. Sometimes they could be just as cruel as any other Templar and all that stuff. And they are blinded by their hatred of this war that they just continue killing each other. I enjoy Assassin's Creed Unity now. I really do enjoy it. I really like the perspective that they changed about it. And again, was there a lot of missed opportunity like Origins and like with 3? Yes. But overall, as completing the game now, I think it's better as a whole. Just if they didn't if they would have changed the ending a bit, if they would have just changed the ending, I would probably put this game higher. But for now, Assassin's Creed Unity will be now number 8. Assassin's Creed Unity, I would give a B plus, and Origins I gave like a B, same as Assassin's Creed 3. But Unity surprised the hell out of me when I replayed it. Really focused more on the story, and even though I'm still pissed off with certain things about the game, I still enjoy this game now. I really do enjoy this game. It's still a major disappointing video game, yes. Was it still one of the most disappointing video games I've played when it came out at launch? Yes. But Assassin's Creed Unity, I have a new soft spot for. So yeah, Assassin's Creed Unity is number 8. Number 7 is none other than Assassin's Creed Odyssey. I enjoy Assassin's Creed Odyssey. And before those people who complain, oh, we're not playing an assassin anymore. How many video games there is of Assassin's Creed if you're including the portables and the DLCs and everything? There's around 17 different games of being an assassin. 17 video games of Assassin's Creed. You're not getting me. You're not gonna get me. You're not gonna. I'm not gonna just roll over and just say, "Oh yeah, I'm so pissed off because I'm not playing Assassin anymore." Even though we've been playing an Assassin for how many years and how many video games? Like 13 out of 17, you've been playing an Assassin. You're not gonna win me over on that one. But Assassin's Creed Odyssey, what's about? You're playing Cassandra. She's directly connected to the Isu bloodline. She is a descendant of the Isu. She is stronger than most normal human beings. She has connections to pieces of Eden. This was a side story. This was Assassin's Creed. If there was ever a spinoff for Assassin's Creed, Odyssey would be it. Assassin's Creed Odyssey is about Cassandra's story, about her journey. It's a long odyssey, a long journey of rediscovering herself, finding her family, trying to unite her family, and to bring down the cult of Cosmos, the villains who orchestrated the war between Sparta and Greece. I mean, Sparta and Athens, and to basically either unite Greece to make them fall or together, or just basically find her family and try to go along this long journey. And I enjoy Cassandra as a character. Cassandra is an amazing protagonist. I enjoy her, and I really do enjoy the story. The problem is, though, this map is too big. The map is too huge. This game could have been a lot shorter. Some of the side content was better than in compared to Origins. It was a lot better, but this game was just too damn long. I understand the story. Was this a story that needed to be told to me? I enjoyed the story that was told. I enjoyed learning about the Isu, about their immortality. I'm enjoying the storyline about how the Isu were experimenting with immortality and Cassandra's journey throughout. I enjoy Cassandra's journey in Assassin's Creed Odyssey. I enjoy the story. The problem is, though, it's just way too damn long. And this is not a game that I will probably go back to a million times over. I would probably replay Unity a lot more compared to Odyssey, but I believe Odyssey's story was brilliant, breathtaking. The map was beautiful. The combat was good. And again, people were saying we're not playing Assassin's Creed no more. We're not playing an Assassin. Go screw yourselves, seriously, because this is just getting. Yeah, you're all just a bunch of crybabies just complaining about, again, it's 17 video games you're playing an Assassin, and again, you're 17 video games of Assassin's Creed, and you're not playing an Assassin. Whoop-de-doo. You had Origins previously, then you had Syndicate and Unity. How many more times you want to be an Assassin? I would like to do another Templar storyline. I would like to do different stories of the Assassin Order. Do we need to, I mean, can we be a Templar? Can we be an Isu for one game? I wouldn't mind that. I don't find a big deal of branching out more the Assassin's Creed universe to stretching more stuff out, because there's a lot for the Assassin's Creed franchise that we can always explore. This is not a bad thing. You don't want, if you want new things, you gotta be open minded to new things. You can't just stick to the same old path with Ezio on this trilogy. You gotta adapt to new things. So number 7 is Assassin's Creed Odyssey. It's gonna be a B plus. I enjoyed this video game. It's just the pacing was off to me. So Assassin's Creed Odyssey, number 7. Number 6 is Assassin's Creed Rogue. Assassin's Creed Rogue, we're following Shay Patrick Cormac, an assassin turned Templar. What I love about Rogue, this game connects to 3 different video game franchises. 3 different video games of the Assassin's Creed franchise. It connects to Assassin's Creed Black Flag. We have recurrent characters from Black Flag, Otto Wale. We got characters from Assassin's Creed 3, such as Achilles, and then we also connect to even Assassin's Creed Unity. Shay Patrick Cormac, Assassin's Creed Rogue, was the connection to a great deal of the colonial assassins and to the Assassin's Creed world. I enjoy how Shay Patrick Cormac, assassin turned Templar, how he turned to the Templars. I enjoy his story. I enjoy what he goes through. I enjoyed his struggle about what is right, what is wrong. I love characters that just pop in like hate them. I just love this. Even though this is a very short video game and you can finish this in under like 2 days, I enjoy Assassin's Creed Rogue. It's just the story was just so well done. And again, we had the same combat as Black Flag. The same. They changed up the naval combat a bit. We go back to New York. We got the River Valley. The North Atlantic is beautiful now, and freaking and the remastered of Assassin's Creed Rogue. I just really love the North Atlantic. We haven't really got an Arctic one until Valhalla now, and Rogue was just me a very fresh new take on the Assassin's world. And this is what you want in a video game. You wanted to have connections to other past video games of the Assassin thing, to respect what's come before. And Assassin's Creed Rogue did all that. The thing is, though, it's just a very short video game. I love this game. I would go back to it. I would go replay it. I love the modern day storyline a bit. I love just basically being an assassin turned Templar. I love seeing the Templar storyline. I want to see more of that. I want future games to be the villain or be the antagonist to the assassins. Have new takes, have something different. And that's what Assassin's Creed Rogue did. It was different, it was unique, and the story made sense. So Assassin's Creed Rogue, and even though there is some plot armor with Shay Patrick Cormac, I will admit that, but Assassin's Creed Rogue to me is number 6. I will give it a B+. It's a very good video game, and I would choose this over Odyssey because this game is a lot shorter, and it just makes the pacing well better. So Assassin's Creed Rogue, B+, number 6. Number 5 is none other than Assassin's Creed Valhalla. I enjoy a great many things about Assassin's Creed Valhalla. This pleasantly surprised me. This game has a lot of great callbacks to previous Assassin's Creed games. They take this great stuff about Assassin's Creed 3, the stuff with the homestead, and it does the same thing with Valhalla with Eivor's character. Eivor is a Viking who escaped Norway. Well, he left Norway with his brother Sigurd. And throughout his journey, he's conquering England. And each time he's making new alliances in England, different parts of England, and trying to take down the Order of the Ancients in England. With the help of with the help of the people in his village. And during this time, every single place that he conquers, he's meeting new people and new people that he brings towards his settlement. And I love that about Assassin's Creed Valhalla. I love the fact that it enhances Layla Hassan's story for the modern day storyline. It also connects more to the Isu bloodline. It also connects more to the Isu story and the lore about their immortality. And I really, really enjoy Assassin's Creed Valhalla for that. It has its own modern day storyline. It has this storyline with Eivor. We have Eivor connecting to certain parts of like Assassin's Creed 3, which was very well nicely done. And then the overall, and they had little nice callbacks to previous Assassin's Creed games like Assassin's Creed Revelations, and I greatly, greatly respect and enjoy Assassin's Creed Valhalla for everything it's done. It took me to a new phase where I'm like, wow, what's gonna happen next? And I think this was the fixer upper for Assassin's Creed thing. This was the kick in the teeth that this was the kick in the nut or kick in the pants that it needed to get Assassin's Creed Valhalla, the Assassin's Creed franchise, back up and running. And to me, this game was beautifully well done. I love Norway. I love the beauty of Norway. I love Vinland. I love going back to England in ancient times right now. Some people say this is a Witcher ripoff. To me, it's not. To me, this is its own unique story. It's different. It's well done. It was very well made. There are some glitches in this video game right now, but a couple more patches, this game could go higher. But Assassin's Creed Valhalla, I'm going to give number 5. It's an A- video game. Number 4, I'm going to give to Assassin's Creed Syndicate. This, to me, the most underrated Assassin's Creed game. Assassin's Creed Syndicate did a lot of things right. There's 2 protagonists, 2 siblings, twins, male, female, Jacob and Evie Fry. They are out there. It's a simple story. The Templars have control over London, and Jacob and Evie are going to infiltrate it. And this is the most happy-go-lucky story for the Assassin's Creed franchise. Even though the DLC takes a more dark and grittier turn, which I do enjoy in a different take, Assassin's Creed Syndicate was just a fun, good time. This was straight up fun. Every single side content and the side stories and the side characters are all connected to the main story. Since you're taking down the assassins, the Templars, and this Assassin's Creed Syndicate, you need to make allies. These allies are your side characters. Your side characters have different stuff you could do throughout London to take away control over the Templars. And it connects beautifully to the main story. I love Jacob. I love Evie. The side content is there for you. The map itself is breathtaking. England has never been more alive. A lot of people didn't like this video game because it was too far into the future and they didn't want to take new chances. They still continue the Juno storyline in the modern day story. It's just, it's in cutscenes. Also, we even have a side content to go to World War One, and even though it's like a good 30-minute story, it was still great to see it, and I really enjoy Assassin's Creed Syndicate. This game improved. Well, it had a great music, a great map. It had great side content, great side characters, and it connected well to the main story to fill it up. Is this I say this is the most simplest Assassin's Creed story with not a big many twists and turns. But if you get the DLC and other stuff, then it really takes to a much more dark tone and really fleshes out the characters a lot more. And this is what you want. A game that respects what's come before, added some new stuff. And this was truly the last traditional Assassin's Creed. This is, after this, they did Origins, and that was a reboot of the combat system and overall the entire layout of Assassin's Creed. The map design of this game was breathtaking. The databases were there. It was the most well-organized Assassin's Creed game I've ever played. I say the only one that possibly beats is Brotherhood for its most organization. So Syndicate, the video game, very underrated video game, a very personal favorite of mine. It's an A minus, very underrated video game. Assassin's Creed Syndicate, I'm gonna give it an A minus. So number 4 is Assassin's Creed Syndicate. Number 3 is none other than Assassin's Creed 2. This is the game that got everybody into Assassin's Creed. Ezio is basically the Batman of this franchise. He's the main protagonist of this entire franchise. If there's ever a heart of the Assassin's Creed, it's Ezio Auditore. Ezio's journey of being a young man in Florence to witnessing the brutal deaths of his brother and father, to becoming a part of the Assassin's Creed world, to introducing a part, basically getting involved in the assassin world, be part of this order, basically rising up and to take back and get vengeance upon the people who killed his family. And ultimately, he's a great protagonist. I just loved his story throughout. Every single story, every single map he goes to, whether it's Florence, whether it's Venice, whether it's Tuscany, or to Forlì, he meets all these characters of history. He interacts with them, whether it's Leonardo da Vinci, Caterina Sforza, Rodrigo Borgia. This is the Assassin's Creed 2, and it's the Renaissance. This made Assassin's Creed what it is. It made this one of the best franchises of all time. It is a great video game. This is a game that really brought in Assassin's Creed, it really just brought everything to Assassin's Creed 2, and it made people want to play the future Assassin's Creed games. Assassin's Creed 2 was breathtakingly wonderful. The combat was improved. There was side content, side stories, side characters more improved, and it wasn't the repetitive mess that Assassin's Creed 1 was. So Assassin's Creed 2 was the A plus for this franchise. To me, it's an A. I really do enjoy this video game. It's just not my favorite. So Assassin's Creed 2 is number 3. It is a classic though. Number 2 is none other than Assassin's Creed Brotherhood. Assassin's Creed Brotherhood improves everything about Assassin's Creed 2. It improves well, not the combat, but it improves a great many things about Assassin's Creed 2. The story is richer. The side content is better. The side characters grow more. It's an epic journey of Assassin's Creed. It's an epic journey of Ezio Auditore's journey. He was from a young boy to become a future assassin, a full-fledged assassin. Now in Brotherhood, he builds up the Brotherhood of Assassins. He becomes Ezio Auditore, the mentor. He is the future. He is the leader of Assassin's Creed Brotherhood, and he brings the Assassin's Creed Order to a whole new level. He brings the Brotherhood to a whole new level, and he is the ultimate mentor. He goes fully against the Borgias, gets to his ultimate revenge against the Borgias, brings justice to the city of Rome. And I just love Assassin's Creed Brotherhood. It enriches the characters, and enriches not only Ezio as a character, but all the side characters. They grow more. People said this is like an expansion of DLC. No, this is an improvement upon everything Assassin's Creed 2 made, and the story is so much richer, so much better in Brotherhood. I love Assassin's Creed Brotherhood. This was my favorite video game for a long time. I always put Brotherhood over 2, and I just love Brotherhood, but it's no longer my favorite Assassin's Creed game because I played from the number 1 pick, and you all know the number 1 pick is none other than number 1 is none other than Assassin's Creed Black Flag. Of course, Black Flag's number 1. Of course, Black Flag's number 1. I love Edward Kenway's story. I love Edward Kenway. This is the father of Haytham Kenway, the grandfather of Connor. This character is simply fantastic. And people are complaining, well, you're not really playing an assassin. No, you're playing a pirate. And there's never been a better pirate game than Edward Kenway's story. Also, this has never been a better Assassin's Creed story. This is the best Assassin's Creed story out there. Edward Kenway, the man who basically was out for glory, out for riches, out for this stuff, to become a man that was so high on himself, to become a man who has to humble himself, who basically goes out to the depths and goes into the gutter and loses everyone around him, all to becoming a better man for it. And it is a complete heartbreaking journey. And it's just everything you want in Assassin's Creed franchise, the great triumphs, the highs, the lows, is just so amazing in Assassin's Creed Black Flag. I love Assassin's Creed Black Flag. The open world is amazing. Naval combat was taken from Assassin's Creed 3 and just bring a whole new map. The hideouts, the map itself was breathtaking and beautiful. The open world was breathtaking. The side contact was awesome. Hunting was never been more better. Harpooning whales, sharks was just awesome. The legendary ship battles were amazing. I love Assassin's Creed Black Flag. This is my favorite Assassin's Creed video game. This is an epic story, an epic journey, and I love Assassin's Creed Black Flag for this. This is a great story, great Assassin's Creed game, and it is my favorite Assassin's Creed video game of all time. So yeah, everybody, this is my top 12 Assassin's Creed video games. Again, agree to disagree with me down below. Leave a comment down below. Let me know. Respect my opinion. Respect yours. Let me know what y'all think, everybody. What do you think should have been number 1? You think Assassin's Creed Origins should have been number 1? You think it should have been higher? You think I'm hating on that video game? You think Black Flag shouldn't have been number 1 because it wasn't an Assassin's Creed game? Let me know what y'all think, everybody. My name's Elise. I'm for everybody. Bye.